It Real with Rudi Lickwood, the topical interactive chat show where you may end up being one of the guests with special guests and you the audience. Comedy with Rudi Lickwood. This event is brought to you by Comedy Hotspot. Don't forget, keeping it real with Rudi Lickwood.
Hello, welcome to Keeping It Real with me, Rudi Lickwood. On Monday, the day after Mother's Day. I don't know. I hope you guys treated your mothers well. Did you send their flowers? Did you send their chocolate? Did you scrub down the skirting boards for her? Did you do that? Did you actually scrub down the skirting boards? I must admit, I gave my mom a big hug. I gave her a big hug and a big kiss. That was what she received from me for Mother's Day. But this is Keeping It Real, and it's all about me interviewing, I call them pioneers mainly. At the beginning, this is pioneers that we'll be interviewing, as you know. And let's get straight into the show, and let's have a look at my first guest. Well, my only guest for today, actually. Oh, welcome to the platform, Devon.
Rudi, welcome, man. Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Bruv, thank you for taking the time out, because I know, you know, it must be difficult in with this situation that we got down with the lockdown for one, and with all the things that you're having to do, and no doubt having to get used to the idea of having to teach the children again.
Yeah. A little bit difficult, but you know, we just have to live with it. You know, the real time now.
Yeah, I can believe that, because it is real time, so it must be taking a lot out of you.
Oh yeah, it does. But then, you know, you just take everything one day at a time. What you can do.
But the difference is that now you've got to go into work as opposed to just getting up for work.
That's life, you know. You have to just work with life as it comes. So what can you do, bro? Not much.
Okay, I hear you.
Give thanks you're alive.
What, bro? I give thanks every morning that I wake up, Dev. Every morning that I wake up, I give thanks.
Every day.
I mean, there are times, I'm not going to lie to you, Dev, where I just think I'm just going to keep my head underneath this blanket because I don't really want to see the day. You know, I don't feel it. You know what I mean? The idea of just waking up and seeing that envelope go from blue to red is never nice. And nice. Never nice. Mr. Bill always finds one way of showing up. You know what I mean? Unexpectedly.
I know, and I'm not gonna stop. You know, so you just have to deal with it.
That's true. But let's talk about you, Devon, because you're quite a complex individual. As far as I'm concerned, you're a very complex man. I mean, you're. I mean, we know some people may know of you, some may not. So we'll assume that there's a lot of people who don't know of you. But you're a producer. Am I right? You're a writer.
Yeah.
You're a director. I mean, you're a thespian. You know, there isn't anything that you don't do in the field of theatre.
Yeah, okay. That's true.
You know what? I think your camera's gone again, you know, Dev.
Ah.
Yeah, we're definitely having. I mean, it's gone. It's back. It's back. Fortunately, it's back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I see what's happening.
Can you, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we okay? We okay? Yeah.
We're all good. We're all good. I can see what's happening.
Oh, good. Yeah. You're best known to those who go to the theatre.
Rudi, I can see and hear.
You can see and hear me, yeah. You're best known for your theatre work. Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Say that again.
I said you're best known for your theatre work. Can you not hear me, Dev?
Oh yes, yes, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's so much theater work, I can. It was just coming just now. I can hear better now.
Okay, you should. Yeah. Okay. So tell us when. How did you get into theatre? When did it all start for you?
Well, theater start for me. Um, to be frank, I've been in theater from in Jamaica. We have what you call this school drama festival,
Okay.
and every school would send a play. It was a national thing, so all over Jamaica, school will send plays, dance, poems, poetry, and a lot of different things to enter these festivals. And through
Okay.
that, you develop as a youngster. You develop a love for acting, a love for music, a love for everything. And that's one good thing about Jamaica in terms of those school drama festivals. So I think ever since school days, I've been acting just like everybody else. And it just happened later on in life. I just picked it up, didn't stop.
But the thing is that you entered competitions, yeah, and I believe you won them as well. You won a few.
I won competition. What happened? You'll win out like a gold or a silver or a bronze. Then you move on to the next step, to the next stage. So over the years, I'll enter a few, maybe 3 or 4, during your school days, primary school, high school, up to colleges, up to youth clubs.
Okay.
So you'll want if you get involved, especially those who really, really love acting and want to do that as a full-time career, they will just continue through, go to the Jamaica School of Drama, and then continue from there as well.
So did you go to the Jamaica School of Drama? Did you actually go to drama school?
I only did it. I did it part-time. So I did a part-time course at the School of Drama, eventually. Yeah.
Okay. And so what part of Jamaica do you derive from, my friend?
Well, I'm from Kingston. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, which is capital.
Okay. So you're not what they call a countryman. You're not a countryman then.
No. Well, actually, I went to like high school in Clarendon, another parish in Jamaica. But then, how I get into acting was it was just crazy, because we were doing a play, and there was a play going on, and one of the characters was ill and couldn't get to do the play, and I stepped in with just about 5 days rehearsal before opening day, and that was it.
But then wasn't your I hear you, but wasn't your first play, what is it, Nuggy Bun?
Nuggy Bun. I played in Nuggy Bun. There was a guy named Rocky, was a brilliant actor. He lives in America now. So he sort of wrote the play and produced the play, and because I know him, he used to come and watch and play volleyball, and everything, and we started to develop. We talked, so we started to know each other, and then because of that situation, I just stepped in.
Okay.
I within 5 days, back on stage.
Whoa, because that's the thing about you, is that you've got quite a relationship, a correlation actually, with one of your fellow thespians, should I say? I've forgotten his name. Is right on the tip of my tongue, Oh God, I only interviewed him only last week. Charles Tomlins.
Oh, Charles. Okay. Oh yes.
Yeah, because you and him are like twin brother. You know what I mean? If you don't see you don't see Charles. If you don't see Charles, you don't see you, right? But before you guys actually met, I mean, while you was at school studying, I believe you was an A student.
Yeah, we used to get quite a lot of top grades. Yeah, then you say back then.
Yeah.
So I did well in school. Yeah.
Okay, because your thing was physics Physics, maths.
Yeah, maths, physics, engineering, science, because that's what I initially started out to do as an engineer. Yeah. But then as you go on through the year, things change, Yeah,
so, but during that period of time, while you were actually studying, writing was not really on the mind, even though you were doing these plays and what have you.
No, nothing at all about writing. That didn't come across the mind.
But what was your love at the time? At the time, what was your love? Your love was more.
My love at the time was sport. I'm very much in sports and especially in volleyball. So most of my teenage years was practice, it was training in volleyball teams, play a lot of games, do a lot of traveling in terms of, competitions. And that was my main thing, throughout my, especially through my teenage years.
Yeah, because the thing is that you took what? Did you choose volleyball because how tall are you? You're 6 foot what?
6'3".
So that's quite short for a volleyball player, though, isn't it?
That was a good height. Good height for volleyball.
A good height, because I mean, what position? Yeah. So, what position did you hold while you was playing?
I was like, well, my main position was striker. So I was the one who sort of hit the ball hard over the net.
Okay.
So that was the position was striker.
So you was a striker at that time. Whoa. So and how well was the team doing? How well was it actually doing?
No, my team, which was Monmouth Volleyball Club at the time, we did really well. We won loads of competition all over Jamaica. And it was then that's propelled me into the national team. So then I started playing volleyball for Jamaica. And then because I was moving around quite a lot.
Yeah, because it took you out to South America.
Yeah. I moved up to the US, to Brazil. We played all over the US.
Okay.
So and then but for the competitions, we were like all over Jamaica, playing exhibition volleyball, playing competition, moving from parish to parish. So it was very active. It was a lot of fun. It was very engaging. It was one of the high points in my life. Playing volleyball to that level.
Because I mean, it got to the point where you was able to get sponsored, and at the same time study, because at the same time you were studying, I think.
Yes. So I sponsored. One of the reasons why I played for Monmouth Volleyball Club, they in turn sponsored me, sponsored us as a team, and that did help us quite a lot. Because in those days, volleyball wasn't that big, so we started to make it into really a big thing. It was for a team like us, Monmouth Volleyball Club, if I can remember some of the name, Rockets. There was a great club called Rockets. Rockets. There was a team called Maud McLeod from Westmoreland, Jamaica. I think we were the 3 top teams, us, Monmouth, Rockets, Maud McLeod. And it was just so fierce competition especially between 4 or 5 teams.
Okay, so you lot was all battling it at the top, battling it, man. So why not go into basketball? Why not basketball? I mean, 6'3".
Yeah, I tell you something, Rudy. In Jamaica, as a kid, you exposed to all kind of games: cricket, athletics, basketball, volleyball. You're just football. And most kids, I mean, one of the good things about sports with kids in Jamaica are totally different, like here in England. We as kids, we create our own competitions. You say so, and then you'll find we progress into other teams as they go by. So there was so much, maybe because you got so much sun and and big field that we can play.
Yeah, we got the sun, got the field.
Nothing stop us from playing. You see.
Yeah, but the other thing but the other thing is, I find that black people, especially black people, excel in any sport that is free. When it's free, you get me?
Of course.
Because I mean, like you know, like the tennis and the golf. You know, these are all clubs that you have to pay to get into. You got to boost your subscription fees and all them kind of thing there. But if you just open the door, right, and you allow people to just come in, you know, it just seems to be something that we just excel at when it comes to sport. We just excel.
Oh yes, oh yes. As I say, it was a lot of like internal competition amongst ourselves before we go to the next step or the higher level. You see, so you'll find like every kid just got something to do. No one will stay at home bored because always has something to do. You see.
Oh, by the way,
that Paul, channel.
Sorry to cut you, but Paul Dawkins just said, "Big up Devon." I'm sure that you know Paul. He's
big up my brother, Paul Dawkins. Big up Paul.
Yes, man. Got to big up that brother there, sir. I want to just do a quick shout out going out to Verona Green. A big shout out to Donna Ben, Julie Juice, Miss Shugs. Who else have we got here? We've got Natural Mystic. Paul Walsh is in here. Thank you guys for joining us. And all the silent listeners who are out there as well, just to let you know that we're not ignoring you, but I am talking to a pioneer right about now. So, you know, I don't want to cut him in his flow while he's talking, because he's traveled the world playing volleyball so far. Meanwhile, studying engineering all at the same time, as well as mathematics, you know. But then you did push yourself quite hard, though, Devon. I mean, the volleyball didn't just come to an end. I mean, you must have been pushing yourself, bro.
Yeah, I think I was, but at the time you don't really see that way because, you know, as a youngsters, you just want to do things. You know, you bored of, you never get bored because there were so many things to do when you just get involved and do things. You say, and the more you do things, the more things happen. So I think that's what really happened to me.
Yeah, because I mean, why did the volleyball come to an end?
Yeah, it was because of a niggling injury. You know, got that. Now we're doing so well, and then I had this shoulder injury, and I mean, it happened. It was niggling for like about 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, and we get a lot of treatment for it. And every time I think, okay, it's better. Yeah, we can train. I'll train lightly. My coach Samuel Dunn was really my captain and coach and mentor.
Okay.
And Samuel was really close to me in terms of getting the right treatment for the shoulder and so on. And it just continued there. And after a while, it was just so painful. You know, during games, I have to come off because then they start to act up again. So I have to come off, and then I just have to just stay out of volleyball because it was the injury. Because I've used the arm so much. You say, I was such a potent spiker. You know,
there is a question there for you. There's a question there for you.
Yeah.
At what age did you stop the volleyball?
What age? That was, I think I was about maybe 24, 25, I think, somewhere there. About 24. I think maybe about 24 or 23, somewhere down there.
Okay. But then that's what actually opened the door for your other love, isn't it? That's where the acting kind of like.
Yes. Because what happened during part of that lockdown period, during part of the period when I was off, and sometimes I couldn't really train. You know, we normally used to train at the National Stadium in Jamaica, and because I couldn't train, you know, the boredom started to get there. You're missing that thing, that hard training every weekend, every week.
Right.
You just train a couple of days a week and weekends, and you miss all of that. And I get back into acting.
Okay.
I think that's when I get back into acting. And that's when I think that was the first time I met Charles Tomlin, because someone introduced me. There's a new display. There's a theater company, Ralph Foley's theater company. They were like mashing up the place they did a play called The Gun Court Affair and The Village Rooster.
Okay.
And they were just mashing up the place, I think. And they had this play called Obia Wedding. And again, it was a mad play. And the guy that normally stars in there migrated. I was George. Actually, it was George G.T. Taylor. He's now one of the top DJs, radio DJs in Jamaica. And GT migrated to America, and didn't come back in time because then they started to do things over there. So they had to get someone to fill the role. So someone introduced me to the role, say, come on and have a go. And then I went, do the audition, boom, got through.
Whoa.
And then it was from there. I take it on.
So you end up with the lead. You end up with a leading role, and Charles ends up with the leading role. Or is this a different play?
This is the same play.
It's the same play.
It was the same play. Yeah, because I was meant to get one of the normal roles, not the leading role. And then one of the producer, Ice and Clover, that was Bim and Clover, that great comedian duo, Bim and Clover. So Ice and Clover look at me, auditioned for the part and said, wow, this is the person we need for the lead role. Whoa. And then Hyacinth, I remember that time, Hyacinth and Ralph Follis I saw when they left, and they have a discussion, and they come back, and they said, look, all right, Devon, I'm going to change that role. Don't you play that role. I want you to play this role. And I play the role of Roy Sweetness, which was the leading role in the play. And Charles, it was the same audition. Charles came because Ralph Follis, he was like a merchant. He used to sell a lot of, stuff, clothes and stuff to stores. And Charles worked in a department store at the time.
That's correct, yeah.
So Charles, Ralph know Charles from there, and Charles always said to him, I'd love to be in one of your play one time. I can't Ralph never take him serious. And one day Ralph decided to take him serious and say, all right, come, we're doing an audition. So we both came that same evening. That same evening. And Charles got the part, rehearsed, and got the part of one of the other roles, which was a really comical role of a policeman.
Okay.
So he played with the policeman in there. And
but
that was the first time.
That's the first time you guys met, and was did the chemistry just work? Just the moment that you two just
bang straight there. Then we started to travel all over JA at that time, everywhere, every parish, everywhere we can think. We used to do so many shows. Like the shows are so popular that I think one day we ended up doing 4 shows in one day.
Whoa.
4 shows in one day. And that's how it was. And we're talking about shows. You're not talking about 70 or 80 people. You're talking about 1,200-1,500 people. You see? And that's how those shows were running. Say,
and the thing is that the shows in Jamaica, unlike in the UK, we're talking about a weekend. Yeah. That's not how you got shows run, did it? And they would run like for months.
Oh yes, that same play, Obia Wedding, that run for about 2 years, just over 2 years. So that run, and that was consistent every week, because we're touring. We do like maybe 3, 4, or 5 days performance per week with that play. So it was it was crazy.
Okay, because I've got it down at Obia Wedding. So then how does Don't Play the Postman come in? Where does that come in? How does that come in?
Yeah, we did Obia Wedding with Ralph Follis, and that was so successful. Then we did another play called The Con Man. It was written and directed by another great director, Delroy Roach. And then Hyacinth Brown was the late Hyacinth Brown, a brilliant director. She was such a creator of the arts. And she met me up once and asked if I could come and do a play for her. When I go, the script was written by a guy called Anthony Ellis. So Ellis was there at the time, and they welcomed me. They said they have a chat with me, and they also Charles also came with me at that one, and Charles and I got in that place straight away. that's then with that play, we performed at the Green Gables Theatre in Kingston, Jamaica. So we're there. I think we performed that for about a year because that was really a really popular play at the time. And there was this guy. That's how we get the link with Icing Brown. And we did that play with Icing and another musical called Big Piece. So we did those two with her. But
So
then
can you sing though, Devon? Can you sing? Can you sing? Can you sing,
guy
Devon?
from
Can you
England.
sing? Can you sing, Devon, out of interest? Because I've never heard you sing, you know. Never heard you sing it out there, man.
You might have picked up something. Yeah, well. Well, the people who watch for Obia Wedding, that was a part of my role in Obia Wedding. I had to sing I think about 2 songs in there.
Okay.
And I used to do quite a I would say a lot of singing because what I was I'm on a couple of records back in the days.
Wait, hold on. You didn't tell me nothing about no records, Devon. You never told me that. You never told me about no records, or I would have gone and dug them out, man.
I tell you, it was just on a low key. I used to move around a lot with Ernest Wilson. As a little boy, you know, they through high school, you know, I get to know Ernest and the late Leonard Wilson, his brother, and they used to take me a lot on their shows, and I developed that sort of singing, you know, love. And I did a couple of songs with Leonard and quite a lot of harmonies with Ernest Wilson and a lot of and a couple of other singers. I sing a couple of tracks.
Okay, cool.
I tell you something. Back in as a youngster with Ernest, I ended up. It was Beres Hammond who we sing harmony together and a track with one of the tracks.
Okay.
So then that's how I know Beres back from the days then through that.
Was that before was that before Beres did Bus, or was that during that period?
No, man. Beres started with a couple. He had a couple of big tunes at time. At the time, he had a tune called "Got to Get Away." People must can remember the "Got to Get Away" from
Gotta Get
One
Away.
Step Ahead.
Yeah, okay.
No, not that one. That's the one. And "Got to Get Away" and "One Step Ahead," and those are his 2 big through, and a couple of others. So Beres was known, but you see, I was sort of in that circle with them through Ernest Wilson and Leonard. And so that's where the singing comes in. But again, it was time I was playing volleyball and so on. So acting didn't come into play then.
So you're still not taking it seriously though, definitely. Or when this is, I mean, by this time, is it actually paying your way? Because I mean, like you said, plays are running for years, they're running for months, you know.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh yes. We were doing it at the time. I was studying. I finished studying at that time in place. I was doing the teachers there. My teachers, in studying as to be a teacher at the time. And when I came out. I do my teaching first year experience at Hardin High School in Jamaica. And it was then. There, I was still most times doing acting still.
So what happened to the engineering then? What happened to the engineering? You're given that a bite.
I still did study. No, I didn't. I studied engineering sciences. I started teaching instead of working as an engineer.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So that's how I end up. I can teach like engineering, science, physics, maths. The main things.
Okay. Yeah. So then, how did the call to the UK come then? How did that? Because were you traversing to the States first?
No, the call came to the US too. They played that I was doing with Hyson Brown. Don't Blame the Postman. So at that time we were running at the Green Gables Theatre in Jamaica. We did a play. Then it took its run and. We did another play, was a musical called Big Piece. Then we go back to that play. They sort of have a rerun of the same play, Don't Blame the Postman, again. Then this guy from England came over to watch Don't Blame the Postman, a guy called Leonard Hay. And Leonard decided, he saw something and he said, look, I'm going to take this play to England. And he didn't take it watered down or anything. He said, I think this will work. And I think he made a risky move, but I think it really paid off for him. We came to England and we were doing Don't Blame the Postman at the Brixton Village in Brixton. At the time the Brixton Village was open. And we were running there, I think it's like 6 nights per week. I think it's only Mondays we didn't do plays. So we were there. And I think we did that for about 4 months. And that did work. And we get, a lot of packed houses there at the Brixton Village. And Leonard noticed it was a sort of a break in Black theatre because now Black audience were coming out to the theatre.
Yeah, because we didn't really have the. I mean, Jacoby's Cabin and stuff like that used to be played at the Tricycle that I used to go and watch. Yeah, but I'm sure that the first time that I actually saw you would have been in Brixton Village. It would have been in Brixton Village because I'd reached that age where, I'd done the sound system thing, right? I'd done that to death, and now I was starting to mature into a younger man. So it meant that I had to take my partner to something a little bit more sophisticated, if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
By sitting down and actually, that's it. I had to take her for a night out, but we didn't have plays that were reflective of even living in Britain at that time to a certain degree. So when you guys arrived, around what year are we talking about now?
This was in 1988.
Yeah.
88, 89. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's it, because that's right. I'm starting to grow up a little bit now. And so it would have been at the Brixton Village that I would have first come into contact with you. So when you arrived in England, what were your first thoughts of the UK, or had you already been here before?
No, never been in the UK before. It was the first time. Somehow we never really think about coming to the UK, because at that time they said anybody come England mad. That was that sort of talk in Jamaica. So it didn't, most people would go to America, Canada, and so on. So we didn't really come to the first time to England. And we thought, that's an experience. But when we came, what gravitated us more was that to see people coming out, and when Leonard would sit with us, and Leonard would say, he already told us, this is a race we have got. There's nothing like this here before, so it's a race. So we'll take that in. He got some funding for it, and he tried it. And we said, wow, this is really inspiring to know that you're coming and can make such a change. And then we all really gravitated to it.
It made a big change, bro. Because I mean, at that point in time, the Arts Council was actually giving out grants for theatre. So I mean, you literally came at the right time. You literally came at the right time when money was floating about. So where did you stay when you first arrived? Where did you stay?
Well, 4 of us came down from Jamaica to do the play. Myself, Charles, Lavina Brown, and Laverne Archer. So we've been working with Alison Brown, on those 2 plays. Don't Blame the Postman and Big Piece. And so it was 4 of us from the cast who came, and we get the rest of cast there. I think one of the cast was Janet Kay was a member of the cast that we get here. Susan Lysett Davis, she's living now in Miami. And there's another guy, Trevor Ward. He was another member of the cast, and a couple others. Earl Tyrone DeRizio. If you can hear me, I hope he's watching now. Yeah,
I'm
Earl
sure that he's watching.
And there's quite a few.
Yeah, so really, those 4 names, they're big names. I mean, in the UK, that's Charles, Laverne. You know what I mean?
Lavina,
it's like
Lavina Brown,
as well. So I didn't mean to leave you out, Lavina, because I know she must be going to catch this and cost me later on. Right? But I didn't mean to leave her out at all. No way.
So we came and we sort of stuck together because we're all living what Leonard do. Leonard got a house instead of we stayed in hotels and so on because it's going to be so long. He rented a house in Stockwell.
Okay.
So he got a house in Stockwell that we all stayed. And we stayed there right through the time. We did Don't Blame the Postman there. And then after that, I think the following year, because we ran it and then we take a break and come back and do another run. And we were touring. I think the first place we went, it was Don't Blame the No, that was Dead Left. After most of the shows with Don't Blame the Postman was at Brixton Village.
Okay.
Because we did it there and did a second run. But then Leonard, the recipe worked, and he decided, oh yeah, we're gonna try something else. And he did another play called Dead Left, which was written by a writer, very great writer, Michael Denton. And Dead Left started run how they were at the Brixton Village. Then we start to move out. Then we go to the Catford Broadway Theatre, which was the Lucian Theatre at that time. Then Bridge Park was one of the first places we toured. So we came, and that's why we ended up doing a lot of plays at Bridge Park. You say, and we packed Bridge Park for so many days.
Just to let you know, that's Stonebridge. Stonebridge
Park.
Stonebridge, mate.
That
you know what I
became
mean?
like a home to us. Big up Leonard from Stonebridge.
Yeah.
The lake.
You got to pick up them man there because that was the Stonebridge.
Vigo Wells.
Vigo's passed away actually.
Yes,
Vigo's passed away.
Vigo was so great. I think Vigo was a big part of that because Vigo run the Beat FM radio, and Vigo used to push our adverts like mad. Vigo, Mickey D, all those guys really worked with us from in Northwest London.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of our success, we got to
a lot of success came from Northwest London.
Northwest London. Mickey D, Vigo, Yellow, all of those guys, they work with us so hard, man.
Yeah, because Bridge Park was believe it or not, Bridge Park used to be a bus station.
Yes.
And we had the riots in, I think it was 84.
Yeah.
And to appease us, they decided to give us the bus station and turn it into a community organization, which became the Harlesden People's Community Complex, I think it is. I can't remember the C, what the C stood for. And we literally built that brick by brick until Brent decided that they wanted to take it back away from us. They're actually fighting to hold on to it up to this day against Brent Council because
politics.
There's loads of politics going on with regards to it and who has the right ownership for it. It actually belongs to the community, and they're just basically running it down to take it back from.
That's such a shame because it's such a lovely venue. It is
such
a lovely venue, nice parking spaces there, everything. And I think that's one of the things why we did so many plays at Bridge Park. So it's a shame that I remember, a couple of years back, I tried to get it to use it back to do plays, and they were just crazy there. It's as if they didn't want anything there.
Yeah, no, it was
that was so sad.
Yeah, it was the politics that was going on, as you pointed out. It was that they were. Brent Council was actually the people who were actually getting in the way of allowing us to do with what we the community wanted to do with it. I mean, it was the biggest project in the whole of Europe at the time because we got money from Europe as well to build it. But when you're up against the system, man, it's bloody hard work. It's hard work, Dev. It really is hard work. So, you guys are now staying in. You're now staying in. You, more or less. Have you lot moved over here by then? Are you moved? You're living here now, yeah?
No, we weren't living because we're here just doing the plays. I think we'll go back to Jamaica if we have a break. We might go back to Jamaica. Wait until the rehearsal start for the new play, and then come back in. And that's how we're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys were you literally were just flying backwards and forwards at the time
at the time. Yes, yes.
Taking our hard-earned cash and go back home and live like the king.
We were supplying a demand. You know? But it was so good. We had such a good time then. Because it was so good to see people coming out and they're supporting us, loving us, following us. You know, it was so good then. And we got so many people to thank for you know, making all of this work. It was not just us, but the people around us who organized this, organized that, you know, look out for us, who do things. It was really a pleasant experience. You know, and I think that's why we stayed so long, you know, to do more plays to Leonard, because Leonard had this inside, I think was a genius. He had this inside inclination of what to do, and he went out, he did it, and he did it right. You know, he did it right. I'm sorry, he hasn't up to this day. I'm asking why is he stopped doing theater, because he did something and it worked. You know, I think theater could do a lot with, you know, people like this. He had the inspiration to create new things, and that's what Leonard Hay did.
Well, the thing is there was obviously a demand for it, because you then started to venture out into the Midlands, if I'm correct.
Oh yes. Then we left. The first went to Birmingham from London. This was the Birmingham, and we did. I think the first place we did in Birmingham was the Muhammad Ali Center, because the promoters in Birmingham wasn't too sure about the bigger venues yet. So they did the Muhammad Ali Center, and they see that, whoa,
how short-sighted was he?
That place could hold people.
That's what I'm saying. How short-sighted was he?
But again, it's that risk you have to take, and that's why you have to big up Leonard Hayes so much for taking that risk, and that risk paid off. See, and it paid off for so many things, and that's how Oliver Samuels managed to come to England, and you know, and then spiral things even further. You see, so all of that was due to Leonard Hay. So we have to really give thanks, a massive thanks to him. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is that you mentioned Oliver coming over, and it's so interesting to hear that you had actually arrived before him and actually literally laid started to lay the foundation for that to happen. Because is this now the introduction of Blue Mountain? Are we talking about Blue Mountain now?
Blue Mountain.
Has Blue Mountain not arrived yet?
No, Blue Mountain didn't arrive yet. It wasn't Blue Mountain yet. Blue Mountain only came by what happened. The promoters of Blue Mountain, they were doing a place since Leonard did that. Don't Blame the Postman, and everyone see how good it was. Then Hyson Brown, our director, he gave the promoters in Blue Mountain, and there was a team of people. It wasn't Blue Mountain. It was a team of people who come together to form another company to do something similar to what Leonard Hay was doing. Okay. And that's when they did the play called Boops.
Boops. Everybody remember Boops. Boops 1, Boops 2.
Yes. And then Boops was again written by Arlen Tony Ellis, who wrote Don't Blame the Postman, and and directed by Ison Brown. So Ison Brown, that was Ison Brown baby, Boops. They actually, it wasn't Boops. The play was called Boopsy back in Jamaica. When they did it in Jamaica, Boopsy. And then when they changed it, when Ison take it to England, they changed the name to Boops. Okay. so that's how Boops come around. And then they did Boops, and it was again another successful play because people started warming now to the sort of Jamaican style theater, and they were coming, they were laughing, they were having fun. Let me just stick a pin there.
Because the thing is that Janet Kay, right, and Victor Amora Evans kind of started to join you guys, and they were surprised. I think there was a play guy you might have been doing at Netford Hall at the time. I'm not sure, not 100. But they were surprised at the response you guys was getting in comparison to the response that they were getting.
Yeah. And that's what we realized when it came here. Because we were normally plays when a couple of plays. There were black plays in England prior to us, but they were getting like 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 people, and whenever they perform. So there was not really an audience of such. So it's when we came, and Brixton Village was small. It wasn't very big. I think it holds just about 300.
Yeah,
about
that's right.
300. But we're packing that out every night. So they didn't understand. You're packing that out for 6 nights a week, and they're running that for, I think the first one was like about 4 months. They would take a break another 4 months, and so on. And it was just packing out every night. So, and that's how people start to want the theater. And
because I think I just want to lay a little foundation for these people, because we got to remember that this is when No Problems and everything was running, and then these guys are coming over, and showing that we don't have to sit down in front of the TV,
the television,
to be entertained. If we weren't going to a dance, we would have to go to a dance. Other than that, we weren't really seeing play, or there was nothing really strong pulling us out to go and see these plays. So when the likes of Vigo and Leonard and because all these guys had radio stations and stuff behind them, and they started pushing it, But when you came to Birmingham, you met up with a couple of gentlemen, and I'd like you to call their names.
Yes. Well, I tell you how this happened. We weren't doing any plays at the time. I think we went for about 3 months. We weren't doing anything. It was a break. Everybody was exhausted, and we were still here. And we got a little bit bored, because we normally out there doing things. And then I that's how I started writing, because I was bored. I'm gonna drop that in now. That's how I started, because prior to this, I never ever see myself as a writer. And then I wrote a play called Push Come to Shove. And we decided that we're gonna do that play on our own, because Leonard wasn't doing anything at the moment. And there's a guy called Brigacy, the late Brigacy, God rest his soul. Now, Brigacy was one of those people who really rallied around us when we came, and so on, show us around London and thing. And Brigacy came to Birmingham one day to introduce me to a guy called Tony Owens. And Tony Owens who live in Birmingham. And talk about the play, just to get a play. When you see the success of what we do here, to get the play in Birmingham. At that time, Tony Owens was a partner with the Hummingbird. With Lloyd Blake, who owns the Hummingbird nightclub in Birmingham at the time. So between so we had a meeting with Tony Owens and Lloyd Blake at the Hummingbird, and they decided, yes, we would love to have the play there, and they were excited, and then they even put us up that night to say, did you want us to come back to London yet? Because it was talk with us, and so on. And it was really a nice meeting. And then we decided we're going to do Push Come to Shove, which was the play that I wrote. And we started the play. We rehearsed the play here in London. It was just four people in the play. Myself, Charles, Lavina Brown, and there was a young actress. She just came from Jamaica, Heather. I think her name was Heather Mills. Yeah. And we rehearsed in London, went to Birmingham for about 2-3 days to get the set up, rehearse on the set, because everything was new. And then the opening night, I think we opened on the Friday. And the Friday night, didn't get a lot of people. And that was totally different from what we used to.
What you used to,
and the Hummingbird is a massive, because that was a concert venue. So it's a massive venue. I think we only get about 100, 150 people, something like that. And people were just mashing up the place. And Carl from Blacknet.
There we go.
Saw the show.
Talk the story, bro. Talk the story. Talk the story.
Carl. You know the story, Carl.
He knows the story, but tell them not the story. Tell them the story.
And Carl came to me and said, "Look, this place is wicked, man. I got a radio station. We just need a bit more promotion than this. Why did you just come on the station? Just come on as a DJ." And just play some music, and then you can talk, give some jokes, and talk and get an audience. And the next day, we were on the radio. I remember I went
Metro.
to
Let's call the name
Metro
Metro.
radio station, Metro
Mhm.
radio station.
Mhm.
And the next day, Carl came and picked me up and went to the radio station. And then it started spin. I tell you, that was something to that. I was on another radio.
Oh no! Come on. Come on, internet. Don't do this to us. Do not do this to us. He's getting to the meat and bones, right, people? He's getting to the meat and bones. And unfortunately, on my side of things, I'm not sure what it's like for you guys at home. It would appear as though his connection isn't quite right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give him a quick call and ask him to go out and come back in again, right? And when he does come back in again, what we will do is we'll do a Q&A, right? We'll do a Q&A. Oh, there you go. He's gone out and he's come back in again. Excellent.
Something went wrong there.
Well done. Because I was just about to explain to the listeners that the connection had gone, right?
Yeah.
But you was just about to explain that Carl and Anthony walks in
Yes.
from Metro Radio, and you're on their station now, and you're promoting this. You know what I mean? Because all this actually leads to us getting to Nottingham, getting to Sheffield, getting to Leeds, getting to Bristol. This is really a big push. And I'm noticing the time is starting to draw down on us, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to allow you to finish that off. Yeah, because yeah.
Yes.
So I'll allow you to continue.
So while I was on another, I was doing a couple of shows at a radio station called Eurojam at the time, back in London, and that's how Bubba Almuna Una and West the Best, big up West the Best,
yes,
say, and they were on those station, and quite a few, Mikey Mowat. They were on the station. Big up Charles and the rest. Hopi, who control the station then. So I had that sort of radio experience with Eurojam and went on Metro. And then the rest was history. We started pack up the Saturday night. We got, I think, about 1,000 people in the Hummingbird. So it was really, really massive. And that was, we stayed in Birmingham for about 3 months doing that show.
3 months.
About 3 months. The show was so popular that I remember once, we were doing like maybe 2 or 3 shows a week, because the Hummingbird nightclub, they have shows there, different shows. So we had to slot in. And I remember once we came back to London. I think we came to London on Monday to go back up for the show on the Thursday, I think. And coming back, there was a storm. And we could not get into Birmingham because we were on the train. The train got blocked, couldn't go anywhere. We end up in a place called Tring. I remember
Tring. We did it. Tring,
had a massive laugh about that because I play a place called Tring.
Tring, yeah.
So, and we end up there and we couldn't. And it was so funny that Lavian and I was on one train. Charles was on another train, so we didn't drove up together. We didn't come up together. And Heather was on another train. And we all got stuck. Couldn't get into Birmingham. We got into Birmingham when Lavin and I got there first. We got there about 10 o'clock, just about 10 o'clock. And then Charles came about 10 minutes after, managed to get there about 10 minutes after. And the show was meant to start, I think, 7 o'clock. And people stood there right until after 10 o'clock and wouldn't go.
Birmingham people in Birmingham people in the house. In the house, in the cold weather, they stand up in the snow. They were standing up in the snow.
They supported us so much, you see, and they stood there waited. Tony Owens and Lloyd Blake, they couldn't believe. And what was sad, we couldn't even do the show that night because even if we had to start 12 o'clock, we wouldn't mind. But Heather, she got stuck. She ended up in Coventry, and she didn't get, I think about like 2 o'clock in the morning when she reached Birmingham. And that's why we didn't do the show that night.
Now I want to stop you. I want to stop you because I think there's definitely a part 2 to this interview that we're having, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that is because, like you said, you get bored very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we could start talking about all of these things. Yeah, yes. we could start talking about, you know, we could start talking about, we could start talking about, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
we could even start talking about some of the serious dramas that you've written, you know. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask everybody out there tonight if there's any question that you'd like to ask Devon, please ask it now. All right? Please ask it now because we've only got another 5 minutes, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys a minute or so, all right, to decide what you'd like to ask Devon. All right?
Keeping it real with Rudi Lickwood, the topical interactive chat show where you may end up being one of the guests.
Yes, I'd like to give thanks to everyone for all of their support.
Every Monday night, 8:30 p.m.
So don't forget, next week we do have the great Maccabee who's going to be here talking to us. All right, another foundation when it comes to entertainment in the UK. All right, so please, if you have any question that you'd like to ask, I know that Donna asked a question earlier on. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second. Yeah, this is one of her questions. So what year was this when you met all of these DJs? Can you remember when that was at all?
When we came here in 88. So I think when we on the radio, that was like about the 1990s, about 1991. So I think that's when Eurojam was there. Yeah. So maybe it was around that time. Yeah.
Okay. Alfie is asking a question, which will give you a chance to maybe talk about the film that you're doing, if you don't mind talking about that.
Yeah. Well, just before the lockdown, we were running a play called You the Jury, and just before the lockdown, we just did a couple of shows of it to test it. Looks good. The audience loved it. So just before the lockdown, we were planning to do that there, and I was planning to take it into America, but we had the lockdown, so we couldn't do that. So my next production, we're working.
Is this the jury that you're mentioning?
Yeah, You the Jury. Yeah. So once State started back again, we'll have that out again. But my next project is we're doing a movie. This is gonna shot in Jamaica. We trying to work through a sitcom. Hopefully, that we're able to shoot the sitcom soon within a couple of months. We should.
Can I get a part, mate? Can I get a part? You know what I mean?
Of course, things will be there, bro.
I mean, we didn't even get the opportunity. We didn't even get the opportunity to talk about the first play I ever done, which was you brought me
Major Worries.
Major Worries. Yeah. We didn't. So there's so much more for us to talk about. But
that was another thespian who came to Jamaica, Hugh King, who wrote Major Worries. He was one of Jamaica's top writers and producers of plays. And he came out before he did Major Worries. He did a play here again with Leonard Hay, Undercover Lover.
Okay, I remember Undercover Lover. I remember that one.
Undercover Lover. That was a mad play. And that was one of Hugh King's play. And Major Worries was another of Hugh King's play, which I got you involved with. You know,
yeah, which you got me involved in. Me. Yes. I was a dancer. Remember, I had to be this dancer, right? Who wanted to do ballet. Yeah, and them lot were all against it at the time. They was like, no, how can you guys? That's not manly and all that kind of like. So I remember that, bro.
After watching you as a comedian and say, yeah. Good, this guy, good, man.
Wait, can you remember where you saw me though? Can you remember where you saw me?
Yeah, I think the first time we met was at the podium.
Okay.
Because Charles and I, we did stand-up comedy together. We used to call ourselves the Crazy Comedians, and we were doing a show at the podium. I think we were there the night.
The gunshot.
Night
Was you there the gunshot night?
Not that one. It was that not that night. So we're there the night. I think the night before, either before or after you. Again, and then I get to meet you up there at the podium at that night when you were performing. I said, "Wow, Rudi Lickwood, bad, mad."
Tear down that place there that night there.
Mad. Yeah. So and that's how. I think that's when I reach out to you when I know that there's a role for Major Worries.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you because I know you were in the process of explaining them to.
I saw you put up a poster there with Ragarella.
Yes. Let me just find that for them.
I tell you, Ragarella, the DJ Don, that was another mad play. Where it was a story of it's the Cinderella story in a ragga style. Where
Devon, we have to call your pod this one day. Because you're just like a woman.
Well, what make it worse was Charles and I played the Ugly Sisters.
Okay.
And we're really ugly. and we had, when we started first, we had the Toya Nadekali, the beautiful Toya Nadekali. So it was so much a contrast. Beautiful Toya Nadekali playing Cinderella or Ragarella. And me and Charles are the two ugly sisters. That was such a contrast. It was a mad play. But we did it in Birmingham and feature Countryman, DJ Countryman in Birmingham. And he mashed up the place. The crowd love him. He said, mash up the place.
Well, so Devon, unfortunately, Devon, I've got to bring our interview to a close, my friend. Wow. And the thing is, I know we're just getting
warm up.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. This has to be a part two because I think it's important that people know where you're coming from because you didn't just get here. Do you know what I mean? And you brought so much to the UK. You brought so much theatre that was never here before. You know what I mean? You're somebody who actually laid down the foundation, okay, in terms of touring for Oliver Samuels to come along. You opened up the VHS market, okay, which is another big thing that you guys did, right? Even though at the same time it did affect you in terms of the numbers coming out because people decided they were going to stay at home. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see more of Mr. Devon Morgan, you will catch him on some of the other platforms that I run, and I will have him back for another interview. I did give you guys the time to ask him any questions you wanted to ask. Okay, and you've run out on the time, right? On a run out. So, Dev, would you like to bid them all farewell as we leave?
Oh yeah, man. Again, yeah. I said, big up all the instigators who work with us over the years: Leonard A, Jimmy, Vigo, Wells, Yellow, Colonel. All those guys who work with us. Sass, the late Sass. President Sass, he was another instigator who pushed us a lot, during those times. And, everybody who work with us all over the years, yourselves, we all enjoyed a good time. And, thanks for the support, thanks for the support from all of you. Tony Owens, Carl, Blake.
We should be saying thank you to you, my friend. So, ladies and gentlemen, please tune in to Keep It Real next week, where I'll be talking to the one and only Mr. Maccabee.
Maccabee.
It is, yes, I'd like to give thanks to everyone for all of their support. The Medical Mondays has become very popular all over the world.
Yes, give thanks. Well, this next one is called Step Up. When we say step up, always try and step up in your life. Always try and do better and better every day. When you step up in your life, you can do anything you want to do. When you step up in your life, you can be anybody that you want to be. This one is called Step Up. Now this one.
When we go shopping, he carries the shopping bags.
So you don't carry nothing?
No, I just walk with my 2 hand free. Honestly,
Well, documented now, sir.
I don't know if
we're running out of time.
Wait.
Time. Red card.
Yes.
Bush order!
I'll say first of all, those who are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to YouTube.
Respect your husband, all right? Allow him to be the man he can be. Don't cheat, all right? Make sure. Shut up! Allow him to talk.
I'm gonna turn off my camera.
Mark, yes or no? Altia?
Nope. Never have.
Quite cool.
The question is, Contourman, have you done it?
Nice.
Okay.
Some flags up there, group.
Have you ever slept with one of your ex's friends?
Rudi, have you?
Does fingering count?
What you put me on this time of morning, you're going to scare everybody.
It was a cassette. You know when you had to push the pencil in between into the hole? Yes, man.
To submit to you as a man or a woman, or do I continue to walk the righteous path and serve God? That's a personal, individual choice. As a Christian, you know, my Christian beliefs are they're very strong, and I'm not going to violate my relationship with God to please another human being.
Well, straight away, that's, red flag. Phone community, why? Are we the guinea pigs now?
I feel like when you are speaking up for yourself, it should be unapologetic and it should be honest. I think that we all...
So, for example, the West Indian community, there are many reasons why they may not, and you can probably tell me more than I know, but I think part of it is that they're being asked to trust the same structures that have also contributed to their discrimination, their abuse, their trauma.
But in Ubuntu, we have programs that kind of look at identity, raising self-esteem, looking at our history.
Often when you watch the news and stuff, everyone's talking about race. And I'm just thinking, well, there's more than that. I know, just having no dad and having to work out what it means to be a black man in the UK was a very, very difficult.
And if you ain't got enough to do it in your family, get 2 or 3 families together and start a business. We've got to be thinking like that now, because unemployment is going to be rife throughout our community now.
If she's saying pie, that means that 8:15 is gone, man.
15 minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi Lickwood. Saturday morning.
Hey, everyone. Entertainment heavyweight.
I need a get a pen, people. Get a pen.
Join them with
What about the
interviews,
telephone? Come on, turn off the telephone.
comedy and quizzes.
There's no formula there. That's what I'm saying.
Peter, hear me out, Peter. It said, can you write down the number 8 times? That means, no, it's not times, it's not multiplication. It said, write it down 8 times, Peter.
We're not here,
If you didn't have the answer, would you get it?
You're the one who's here. You're the. Oh God, we got another one. Doesn't mean you can't repeat a word. It means you can't repeat the same sentence.
Let's see then.
I'm going to ring a bell in a moment. Okay, and I'm going to leave the room.
You married?
I am not.
Never had an affair?
I haven't.
You haven't?
I haven't.
You did say it twice. You did.
I did.
The same question shouldn't be asked twice.
But never mind. It was fun anyway.
No, you did well.
A few people are saying it did.
Wait, hold on. I feel, you know what? There's a lot of bitterness in here, yeah? And I know where the bitterness is coming. I know where the bitterness is coming from. And I know why.
He says in his chat.
You're bitter.
15 minutes with Rudi Lickwood and DJ Countryman. Saturday mornings, gonna be the same again.
Incredible!
Together. Do not forget to subscribe, especially if you're on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe. Subscribe, hit the button, subscribe, hit the button.